Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Fedrick. Host Eddie Fedrick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Monday, 3rd June 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Trinidad and Tobago's archaic sedition law under test as a YouTube vlogger becomes its latest victim. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. YouTuber and travel vlogger Chris Hughes remains in custody as his local attorney in Trinidad and Tobago and the Canadian High Commission continue discussions over his arrest. Hughes, who interviewed several purported gang members during his visit to Trinidad and Tobago, was charged with sedition on Wednesday, May 29, 2024, and is expected to appear before the Port of Spain magistrate next week. But the reason behind his arrest remains a topic of discussion. CNC3's Shane Superville reports.
As YouTuber Chris Hughes remains in custody awaiting his hearing on Monday, questions and concerns continue to be raised over him being charged with sedition and the circumstances of his arrest. Hughes was charged on Wednesday. However, an application for a writ of habeas corpus was made on his behalf, which sought to have the matter heard expeditiously to justify his detention. In a leaked voice note, Hughes described being contacted by a police officer who urged him to visit the police station for questioning. But the problems had just begun for the vlogger who refused this request, insisting that he committed no crime. Contacted for comment today, Hughes attorney Kristen Williams said he was instructed not to speak on the issue. But attorney Kyle Taklal Singh describes TNT's sedition law as archaic, saying the parameters of the offense were too broad and could be abused by the authorities.
The sedition offense requires that speech must incite violence in order for something to constitute the offense of sedition. So police and the prosecutorial arms will have to be guided by that. But the more fundamental issue is that sedition is too much of a restriction on freedom of speech in a democratic society.
Fellow YouTuber David Hoffman, who also visited TNT, posted a video offering his support to Hughes while highlighting the importance of travel vloggers.
As YouTubers traveling the world, where's the line between freedom of speech and what we're doing to create art and give truth to people? I love Trinidad. I eat doubles everywhere I go.
Throughout TNT's history, charges of sedition are few and far between, but it's clear that the latest incident has attracted attention both at home and abroad. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister National Security Minister Philip J. Pear says the new custody suites will be operational by the end of June 2024. In addition, he says, a new police dog will arrive from Martinique next week. He outlined a number of other items making up government's national security to-do list, including the commissioning of the Northern Divisional Police Headquarters. Miriam Montour of the DBS News World has more.
Speaking at a police vehicle handover and graduation ceremony, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre says the public can expect the new custody suites to be opened by the end of June 2024. He says that by the end of 2025, the new Northern Divisional Police Headquarters will be opened.
The Northern Headquarters is a facility that's going to be one of the most modern facilities in the region for our police officers. It's going to be one of the most modern facilities. It's going to be an administrative block, and the dormitories, the contract has gone out for the dormitories. And we're going to be spending over $30 million for that construction.
Pierre says that the drug squad's quarters will be renovated to ensure that the officers in that department enjoy better work conditions.
We're also going to be replacing the dogs, because next week we are going to be having a new dog from the Martinique police. So I want to tell you that we are committed to improving the welfare of the police in this country. And committed in a way because we believe that the police must transcend all political boundaries. We believe that the police will remain the police in spite of who is in government.
He says that the job of the police is becoming increasingly difficult, especially with the rise in cybercrime. Therefore, he says that the government will continue to lend support to the police.
You will see all postings, you will see all false cyber, you will see all false pages. This thing has just begun. And you, the police, you have a job together. And I want to thank the government of the United States for helping us in this cyber security problem. I want to thank them for that. Because the issues of cyber security have just begun. And in the coming season, more of it is going to be out there. So most likely, you might see me somewhere saying something like, I hate all of y'all. Get ready for it. It's coming.
Pierre urges the police to carry out their duties with due diligence and respect. As he says, all it takes is one bad officer to spoil the reputation of the entire force. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoot reporting.
Cardinal Kelvin Felix, the former Roman Catholic Archbishop of Castries and a champion of education and social justice, died on Thursday in St. Lucia at 91. He was the first cardinal from the Eastern Caribbean.
The Roman Catholic Church in the Caribbean is mourning the loss of Cardinal Kelvin Felix, who passed away Corpus Christi Thursday at the age of 91 in Castries, St. Lucia. Cardinal Felix served as the Roman Catholic Archbishop Emeritus of Castries and was a highly respected figure within the regional religious community. In 2014, Felix embraced the historic significance of becoming the first cardinal from the Eastern Caribbean, hailing from the Archdiocese of Castries. Current Archbishop, the Most Reverend Gabriel Malzer, says funeral arrangements have begun.
The cardinal is a bishop, a priest, and a human person, so there will be a funeral for him as normal. Of course, it will be with a difference, certainly. But just this afternoon, we will be planning, meeting a few people at Kubaril to begin to look at what process we follow in order to prepare to give a good farewell to him.
Born in Dominica, Felix was ordained a priest in 1956. He rose to become Archbishop of Castries in 1981, a position he held for nearly 3 decades. The Most Reverend Gabriel Malzer paid tribute to the late Cardinal through the Corpus Christi observance on Thursday. He said one of the late clergyman's last wishes was a revival of the priesthood in this part of the world.
Before he died, he kept on saying that he is offering his suffering for the promotion of vocation to the religious life and to the priesthood. To offer this procession of the Blessed Sacrament for the repose of his soul and for his intention, for the promotion of vocation to the priesthood and religious life.
In recognition of his lifelong service to the Church, Pope Francis elevated Felix to the rank of Cardinal in 2014. A champion of education and social justice, Cardinal Felix oversaw the establishment of numerous schools and social programs throughout the Archdiocese.
So, of course, we'll have a funeral, certainly a funeral here in St. Lucia, and it is his desire that he'll be buried in Dominica. So after a celebration or a funeral in St. Lucia, we'll transfer him to Dominica for burial. So, and I suppose in Dominica they'll have another funeral for him, another celebration, to recognize the kind of work that he has done, not only in Dominica or in St. Lucia, but in the entire Caribbean.
Cardinal Felix's contribution to the Catholic Church and Caribbean society will not be forgotten. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
The Fourth United Nations Conference on Small Island Developing States wrapped up in Antigua and Barbuda with unanimous support for the bold new 10-year plan of action that will deliver meaningful change for this group of vulnerable countries. The Antigua and Barbuda Agenda for SIDS, a renewed declaration for resilient prosperity, puts forth a new ambitious pathway for SIDS sustainable development. During the closing ceremony, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Barbados, with responsibility for climate change, small island developing states, and law of the sea, Elizabeth Thompson says countries have worked hard on the agreement.
This is the feel-good moment. This is when we say, we've worked hard, we've done it, we have come to agreement, and consensus always feels good. But the real challenge lies ahead of us. We have been discussing the prosperity, the development, the sustainability within the context of SIDS now for several years. How do we move from conversation to implementation? Where do we find the capital and the new capital that is necessary? How do we build the partnerships? How do we build the policy and programmatic frameworks that will deliver to the people on the ground?
In the meantime, UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed emphasized no effort should be spared to ensure the voices of vulnerable and marginalized groups in SIDS continue to be heard,
including those persons with disabilities, older persons, and indigenous peoples. We recognize the commitments that have been brought to the table, the European Union, the Netherlands, Germany, the United States, and we hope others will also step up to the scale, to the urgency that we require now. This is not about more projects. It is about inclusive growth that delivers that what is good for the goose is good for the gander.
The legal fraternity in Jamaica reacts to the court's decision to deny Vybz Kartel's application. Attorney Bert Samuel and Jacqueline Cummings share their thoughts on the ruling, indicating they were not surprised. With a significant hearing set for June 10th, the fate of Vybz Kartel and his co-accused hangs in the balance. Will their case be dismissed or will there be a retrial? We all have to stay tuned for the latest updates. In the meantime, Trisha Gay Kelly of CVM News tells us more.
Every man have a dream and a nightmare. Every day can be the same.
It's the same fate for entertainer Adidja Vybz Kartel Palmer and his co-accused, who will remain behind bars at least until June 10, when the Court of Appeal will determine whether his case will be dismissed or retried. In light of today's ruling, Attorney Bert Samuel says the defendants are in a tight spot.
What was very persuasive to the judge is that the issue of retrial is almost 11 days away. That is the 10th of June. And maybe she would be hesitant to change the status quo, as it were, to disturb the apple cart. So she must have been influenced by that. But she would have to make a finding firstly that they are not being unlawfully detained. I would love to see her judgment. I hope it is in writing.
He says, however, the possibility of this being their fate was expected and his clients were made aware. But if they so desire, they can question the judge's decision.
Her decision can be appealed, and I think that it should go elsewhere because it is such a fundamental position that, we need some clear guidance on it from another court. I would want to take it elsewhere, unless, when in June the 10th and the week of June the 10th, if they are ordered no retrial, it could just be of academic importance. But for lawyers, we always want clarity on unique situations like this.
Things are all set for the final ruling a little over a week from now. Attorney at law Jacqueline Cummings says though the Director of Public Prosecutions has changed, all aspects of the case should be ready for the big day.
Even before the change in DPP, there was already somebody assigned to do the retrial matter for that particular week in court. So the entire term in terms of the rest of prosecutors would have been assigned already. So it's just a matter of whoever is assigned to that particular courtroom or that particular case would be the one to represent the DPP's office on that given day.
In the week of June 10, Vybz Kartel and his co-accused will face their final ruling in the Court of Appeal. It's in this moment that their fate will be decided. Will the defendant's case be dismissed or will there be a retrial? Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.